Hello guys, welcome back in the series of online electronic shopping system using ASP.NET. In previous video, we have seen how to display the recent delivered status of an order which is being made by the user. So in today's video, we are going to see how to display the list of all product which has been ordered by the user till now. You can see here, if the user click on this show all order list, till now how many orders they have made will going to display here. Okay, so we are going to implement this page today, and based on order ID also the user can search their order. If the user know their order ID, they will search based on order ID also. Okay, based on order ID the result will be going to display. So today we are going to create a new page with the name this user product list. So I have already done this. So you have to create a new page, a new web form page, and name it as user product list. Okay, so let's see what is in design part. Hmm, just wait a second. Yeah, so first of all I have taken here one link button, and then here text selected, text box, one button, and one grid view, and two hyperlink. So let's see. So first of all, in the body tag I have given the background image with the URL which is placed inside the images folder with the name cart.bg. Okay, the background size, the value for that is contained background position center, and within the div tag I have given the property align scroll center, so that all the element the tools we are taking in this page should be center. Okay, for that we have taken the align scroll center. Within div I have taken another div tag, and with the property align equals to right, that inside that I have taken one link button with the ID all order, and back color dark orchid, for color white smoke, with the text as show all order list. And here based on ID of the link button, the on click event will going to generate when we double click on this link button from design page. You can see the link button is placed in the top right corner of this page. When we double click on this, the on click event will going to generate in the .cs page. Okay, so first let's focus on .xps page, that is the design page. After that I have taken here one bold tag with the text selected. After that one text box property like height 29 pixel, width 168 pixel, and one button control with the text as click. And when we double click on this button, on click event will going to generate in the .cs page. And the class css class I've used, no, let's remove it. And with the property font bold true, height 39 pixel, width 72 pixel, back color dark orchid, fore color white. After that taken two break tag. After that I have taken one grid view. In grid view I have given the property back color is equal to this, and border color with this, border width 5 pixel. Now here within the grid view I have created one event, that is on row data bound event, and you can create this event just by selecting the grid view and go to properties. Now go to events. Here you can see on row data bound event is there. Just double click on this and you will be redirected to the .cs page. That's this event. Okay, but we will look it afterward. First of all, let's see the designing page. Okay, so first of all, yeah, click on this and click on edit columns. First of all, you have to take one template field, this one, and click on add, and after like that I have taken this product image, so I am removing this. Okay, so let's see what I have taken inside this template field. I have given the header text for this template field as product image. Okay, that's it for this. Let's see what else I have taken here. Okay, now after that we have to click on this edit template. Within this item template, I have taken here one image control. You can just take it with the toolbox or drag and drop here. Okay, within the item template, just drag and drop the image control. Click on here on the image and click on edit data bindings. Now within the image URL, we have to provide this text, that is eval function with the variable image, that is the column name which is present in our table. Okay, or you can simply just add the code from here also. After this property inside this grid view, okay, we have to take one columns. Within this column we have to take one template field with the header text product image. Inside that we have taken item template. Okay, and within item template we have taken one image control. With the image URL we have passed this eval function inside that. Now in XP space we have to fetch any value. Okay, then we have to take within this open and close angular bracket. After that percentage. Okay, at both the end, opening at the ending also. If we want to bind a value which is coming from a database, then we have to use hash here. Okay, after this percentage we have to use hash, and the eval is a function which is going to bind the data for that control, and within the eval function the value which is passed from that column, the data will be going to get here. Okay, and I have given the some height and width, that is 105 pixel. After that I have given the header style, that is a back color as dark orchid and the fore color as white. After that I have taken two break tag after the grid view. Then I have taken one div tag within the with the property as align center. Within that I have taken two hyperlink. In first hyperlink I have taken the back color, font bold, font size, full color, border color, and the text back to home page. And for that page we have linked the page within the property navigate URL, that is default page. We have linked the page default here. Okay, after that 3 to 4 character space I have taken another hyperlink with the navigate URL property as user product status, that is the page which we have created in the last video. Okay, and the back color dark orchid, for font bold, font size, for color, border color, and the text back to previous page. Okay, based on this if anyone clicks or the user click on this, it will be redirected to the previous page, that is user product status. So let's see what inside this the CS page. First of all we are going to see, just close this edit and template editing. Okay, first of all we are going to see, let's see line by line in here only. Okay, start from beginning. Yeah, first of all I've taken a SQL connection class. Inside that I've given the SQL connection. Okay, let's take three parameters: data source, initial catalog, integrated security, that is true. Data initial catalog, that is our database name. Shopping DB is our database name, and data source, that is our server name which is used in our SQL server. Okay, now after that I have taken one variable string with the variable name as email id, and I have assigned the empty, that is blank value, to this variable. Okay, in the page load event I have taken if condition and checking that it not is post back. That means if this page hasn't or haven't sent any request to the server till now, then it will going to check this condition inside that. It checks that if the session of user is equal to null, that means the user is not logging, then he will be redirected to the page login page. Okay, or else after that when the user click on this link button, show all order list, then the this event will going to call. Okay, it will check in this event that the session of the user, if not null, that means the user is login, then this part will going to be executed. So let's see. First of all, I have assigned the uh, name of the user to email id, which is coming from the session of username. Which user is login, it will get inside this email id. Okay, after that I've taken SQL data adapter class with the object SDA, and I've taken the SQL query inside that, that is select. Here I've taken two table data. Okay, so that's why I have used here inner join for joining two table. Okay, by joining two table we can get the value from both the table. Okay, so that's the what I can say the important of using inner join. Okay, so here let's see what is the query. Select order id. Order id is the column name, and ODR is a ls name of our table, first table name. First table name, that is order details, and the ls for this, that is ODR. ls means the name which is going to represent this table. Okay, so based on this ls we can fetch the column which is present inside this table. Why we are using this ls for this table? Because if only one table are there, then we can easily fetch the columns. If two tables are present or more than two tables, then how we can differentiate which columns is coming from which table? For that differentiate, we are creating an instance, that is ls for that particular tables. Like order details I have taken ODR, and for product one table I have taken PDT, product. Okay, so based on that ls I will getting the columns. Okay, so select ODR, that is order details table. Inside that I have taken order id, and I am giving the name of that column as order id, that start with capital O and id capital I. Okay, the value will be coming from this table order id from okay, and displayed to us with the column name as this name, order id. Okay, so it will get the order id, then product name, then product image, then price, then quantity, then order date, orders, that status of an order, that all these columns are coming from the same table, just leaving this that is image is coming from the product one column, sorry, product one table. The order ODR, that means order details, the table here, indicate here, and here PDT, it will indicate the product one table. So from product one table, only one column we are getting, that is P image, which we have named as image. Okay, and why we have used here two tables? Because we have stored the details of an order of a user in order details table, right? But we want to display the image also for that product which has been ordered. All right, and the image we are going to get it from the table product one table. Okay, not image, we are going to get the image path. So based on image path, we are going to display an image here. So if you notice, we have taken here the image inside this template list. Yeah, here inside this template list, we have taken the image control within the item template. Okay, so we are going to bind that column, that is image. Let's see here, can see this one. I am given the name as image for the column P image. Now we are going to get the data with the name column as image. So I am getting this column data inside this image. So based on that, the path of that image, it will going to get the image from our image folder wherever the path has given. Okay, based on that, the image will going to display in our grid view. Okay, after that, it will take till here status from table order status here, and the inner join, the first table ends here. Okay, and the second for joining the two tables, we have used the inner join and the second table name product one table. And after using on, we have to provide the condition based on which condition both the tables are going to be joined. Okay, so the id which is present in the product table, that is product id, and the id present inside the order tables, that is product id. Okay, the column name, you can say the characters, that is a product p is capital and the product id p is small. Okay, so this column product id is coming from the product one table, and this product id is coming from the order details table. If all these columns records are been matched or equal, then it will going to display all the records. And based on which condition it will going to display, if all these product IDs match, based on the column email, that means which user is login, based on that it will going to display all the records present in order details and will get image accordingly from the product one table for that order details. Okay, after that, we have taken one data table for storing the data which is coming from this query. Okay, and for storing that data in data table, we have to use the fill method which is coming from the SQL data adapter class. So after filling or storing the data within the data table, I have taken the for loop, that if you know if you are getting result or data more than one, we have to check inside the for loop if you want to do something changes or modifying within the column data within columns. Okay, so I have taken here for loop. Here I have taken here int I is equal to 0, I less than dt rows dot count, and here dt rows dot count means the data present inside the data table. That means the number of records which is present in data table will be the count. Okay, suppose 2 records are present, that means the count should be 2. Okay, and I increment here, that is I plus plus. Inside that I've taken string variable, the variable name status, and getting the value from the data table which is at 6 index. The index start from 0 index, right? So after the 7th position, it will going to get the status. Okay, so let's see in query, this one is the 0, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. At 6 index, that means at the 7th position, we are going to get the, or 7th column, we are going to get the value of a status, and we have to check that the value present inside the status, that is it is pending. In my case, I am having the data with the name pending, the small p or capital P also. So that's why I have taken here 2. If you are having our same record pending which is in small here, or you can if you are having this, you can give this one or you can give this one. If you are having both pending with this capital and small pending, then you can use or between this. Okay, so if it is check, it will check that if the status value is pending, then it will going to set the value for that columns as dispatch. Okay, or else that means if the status is not in pending, that is another one, that is complete one. Okay, if you watch my videos in which the admin update the status of a product, okay, at that time it will set the value as complete if the order is delivered. So if it is get the value as complete, then it will update the value with the delivered. Okay, so that's why we are going to get here the value dispatch or deliver. Okay, so after that we have to blank the value present inside the status, and this will be going to be in loop because we are using for loop. Suppose if two records is present in the result of this query, then at starting it is I is 0, then it will check that count is 2, I is that is 0, 0 is less than 2, right? Then it will going to be execute this whole part, and again it will go into here and increment the counter of I, and now it will check the starting it was 0, now it is 1. After incrementing the value of I, now it is 1. Now it is check that will check here 1, that is the count here 2, 1 is less than 2, true. Then again it will going to execute this part, and then again it will go into here and increment the I variable. Now I is 2, then it will check here 2 is less than 2, no, it condition is false. Then it will going to come out of this for loop and execute this part. Okay, and here I have taken the data table as a data source for the grid view and control, and for binding that data table to this grid view we have used data bind function, which is defined for binding purpose, binding data purpose. Okay, and we have to blank the text box of value, that is it should be empty. Then we click on this button, based on that the result will be going to display in grid view. So let's see the functionality behind that. First of all, it will going to check the session of the user, it should not be null, that means the user should be login. Okay, after that it will going to fetch the username within the session of username inside this variable email id. Now after that I have taken your SQL data type class, and inside that I have taken the SQL query. You can say SQL command here. Let's see, the query is same as above one till here, email id. We have the same query, but here we have added one more condition, and order id like text box 1, the value which is we are getting from the text box 1, that is order id. Okay, so it will search in the order id column which is present in order details table. So based on these two conditions, that is email id and the order id, it will going to display the record or get the records from these both tables, that is our order details tables and product one table, based on which user is login and what the order id has been entered for searching the order status, it will going to get the result. Okay, so the result will be going to store in the data table. For storing that, we have used the fill method of SQL editor class, and after that we have checked that if the data present inside the data table should be greater than 0, then it will going to execute this part inside the if condition. I've taken here string with the variable name as string status. Inside that the value which will be going to come from the 6 index, can say, or the 7th position of a column. From here we count at 7th position, that is status 1. So we are going to get the value status here. Okay, now after that we are going to check the value inside the status. If it is pending, then it will going to set the or update the value with the dispatch for that columns, or else it will going to update the value as delivered for that column status. Okay, we have seen this code in above function also, even above event. Okay, after that it will going to bind the data to the grid view one. If it is, if in else part, if part. Okay, in if condition is false, that means if no record or no data has been found, okay, then it will going to execute this else part. And what is inside this else part? It will going to display an alert message to the user with the text as please enter valid order id. Okay, now here the event which we have created inside the grid view one, that is row data bound. And what's the purpose of using this event? That is, suppose if we are the name indicates here that row data bound, the data present in the grid view for the row, particular row, the row present, that means how many records present in the grid view, that will be counted by the row, right? Can see here the records display here like a row, right? This will act as a row, right? So how many records if present inside the grid view will be considered inside a row? So based on the row, so it will going to bind the data present inside the row. So for that purpose we have used, here you can see this the color for this grid view, the background color I have given the pink color. Okay, but this column, for the status column, the background color has been changed. Can see here it is in red color, and after that it is in green color, and after that it is red color again. So it's based on this condition, the status of data present inside this, based on that the background color changes for this particular column status. So for that we have used this event row data bound, because we inside this event we are binding the data for that particular cell or particular column of that status. Okay, so here first of all it will going to check that the type of row, if it is data row, then it will going to execute inside this present code inside that if condition. First of all it will check that the rows of cell 7. Okay, it will, if it is text deliver, that means it will going to set the for color, the front color of the text will be in white color. You can see the text color is white color for both, that is dispatch and deliver, but the background color changes. Okay, so it will set the fore color as white color and the back color as green color if the status value is deliver. If it is the value of status is another one, that is the that is dispatch, here dispatch one. Okay, if the value is dispatch, then it will going to set the fore color as white and the back color it will set as red color. After that it will, here again I have taken here one thing, that is aligning the data within the cell in center. Okay, for which one? Fifth one, row cell fifth one. Can see here the cell start from 1. Okay, 1 2 3 4 fifth, the fifth one, that is quantity. If I haven't given those that code for the here inside this event, then the data displaying here it will be aligned to this, the starting of this column, it will be stick to this column. That is not looking good, so that's why I have taken this that property to align the center. For that I have taken that. Okay, and I have taken here the cell 3 should be visible, I have set it false. Why? And what is inside that cell, that is I have disabled it, or the user can't see it. Okay, so let's see. If you notice here in this query, I have taken order ID. Can see here order ID, right? After that I have taken the product name. Can see product name. Yeah. After that I have taken the image. Can see image here, but you know that the image coming from the column, it's not store the image inside the database, right? It's store the path of the image. So the column will come after this product name, that is image, with the image path. So we don't want the image path, right? We want the image instead of that. So we have to hide that image path column from here. Okay, from here we have to hide that. For that we have made it hidden here at the cell 3, that is here. So I have made it invisible to the user. So that's why I have taken this. Okay, so that's it here. I hope you have liked this video. If you have any doubt query regarding this project, you can join our Telegram group and you can ask the questions, any errors regarding our project, can just simply ask there. I will be there to help you. Okay, we'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye, take care.